Hey, welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, we're talking about thinking big and thinking small. So I have been having several phone calls over the past week with game developers and streamers and other content creators of various sizes, and as well as other business people. And it's actually really interesting, this split between people who think that they have to fit within a certain kind of box, and the people who are like, there is no box, let's go as big as we can. And it's actually, it's mind-boggling to try to go from talking that second group, the ones who are like, let's get this working right now, how many millions of dollars can we make right now, let's roll. And then you go over to this other group, those thinking small people, and they're like, yeah, I'm hoping, someday we'll be able to get like $100,000 and we're really going to scrape by in order to get that. And it almost seems like no matter how many different ways I try to approach that group, they don't want to see the possibility. And maybe you're sitting there yourself going, maybe I've got this business, or I've got a game development studio, or I'm a content creator of some type, an influencer. And like, if I could only just get like this small little amount, for you, it might be a big amount, right? It could be a couple $100,000 for you, right? If I could just get this little thing, everything would be good, because, me and my 3-man team will be able to pull this off, and we're going to save every penny we possibly can and do it as efficiently and as small as possible. And it blows my mind that there's so many people like that. And I have to admit, I was like that myself too, because, growing up, money was always tight. My family always, we had more money than a lot of people, I'll admit that, but it was always tight, and I didn't always get the things I would have liked to have. And I were told I couldn't have things quite often because we didn't have money. And so I understand, when you think about starting a business or running a business, you're thinking, well, I've got, say, $20,000 in the bank. I have to figure out how to stretch this money, and that's all I've got. It's all we have the ability to use. But if I go back over to that second group of people, I go, hey, so here's the business plan. I have guys who are like, well, okay, I got these 3 people who can find us all the money we need. Don't even worry about the money. And I got these other influencers who help promote it. And I got these other people who put it out in the media. And I got these other people who help develop it. And there's no limit to what those people are able to do on that second group, right? Because they don't think in terms of scarcity. It really is a mindset. And it took me years and years to try to understand all that personal development mindset stuff about what it meant to have a poverty consciousness and a prosperity consciousness. And the poverty consciousness really is about lack. It really is that you feel like you're limited. Stuff is holding you back. People are holding you back. There's not enough to get done. You don't know if you're going to make it. And then there's people who are like, there is a way. Full stop, period. There is a way. We just got to go figure out what it is. We got to talk to the right people. We got to find the right group. We got to, get the right software. It's out there. If it's not out there, we can find someone to make it, because it's not that hard to do. We just got to have the cash, and there's somebody out there with that too. And these two groups absolutely just cannot reconcile with each other. You cannot get somebody who thinks super small to be able to work well with somebody who thinks super big, because the person who thinks small is going to be like an anchor on a ship. They're going to be like, whoa, no, we can't do any of that. That just doesn't work. Things work no, I just don't believe that. And they will not believe it. The first time somebody asked me if I could find them $1 billion, I didn't believe it. And it wasn't until I actually talked to a funder, and they're like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter how much money they need. If they got the right plan, I can find it for them. And I'm like, wow, that's how this world works. There is always a way. There's always a way. So the question is, for you out there listening to this show, are you thinking big or are you thinking small? Because it's only one or the other. There's no middle road here. You're either thinking big or you're thinking small. And if you're thinking small, you are holding yourself back. You are holding your business back. You're holding your family back. Now, it could be that everybody you hang out with also thinks small. And that's kind of a pain in the butt because we tend to take on characteristics and think certain things as relates to the people who are around us. So if you watch a certain type of news channel, or if you listen to or read certain kinds of media online, say politically, and I don't do politics anymore, right? But if politically, if you read and watch a certain type of content, whether it's liberal or conservative or right wing or whatever, right? You will tend to be in conformity with the stuff that you read because the content is self-reinforcing. It's self-affirming. You read it and you go, oh yes, this justifies my worldview. This is exactly how I believed anyway. And so you read it some more, you read it some more, you read it some more. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to chance upon something else in the other realm, those other people that we don't like and we don't talk to because the thing I currently read tells me that I don't like them. And you're going to read it and you're going to be like, what are these people talking about? They have no idea what's going on. That's not how it is at all. Like, this is all bunk. It's not real. When in truth, the truth probably lies closer to the middle. All media is a form of propaganda. Okay. Everybody is trying to sell you something. Everybody's trying to sell you something. You need to understand that. So the stuff that you read is there to get you to read it more. And so they're going to tell you things that they want you to understand. The same applies to the people around you, the people in your ecosystem, your sphere, your family, your business partners, your friends. They are your friends because you currently all think alike. You all probably like somewhat the same stuff. You talk about the same stuff. You kind of have a good thing going. If you were to change, so if you say, for example, you think small and all of a sudden you're like, you know what, the sky's the limit. I can accomplish anything I can possibly dream of. I just got to go find the right person. And you go into your business meeting the next day and all your business partners are like, man, we had a rough week last week. What are we supposed to do? Like, we only have like $5,000 left in the bank. The business is going to end. And you're like, don't worry about it. We'll find a way. They're going to think you're crazy. They want you to be practical. Come on, get down to earth. We got to figure this out. Like, what do we do? Let's just go find someone to give us the money. People don't just give you the money, man. What are you talking about? That's not how this world works. They will not jive. They absolutely will not do it. And so if you are that person, sucks to be you. No offense, right? Like, you have to find a way to change because there really is no such thing as limited money on this planet. There are trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars just sitting around waiting to be spent by somebody. And you aren't sticking out your cup under that faucet of money that's just flowing by every minute of every day because you don't think it's there. Now, how do you do this? It's simple. It's a habit. I've done other videos on how to develop habits. I watched a video just real quick. I watched a video one day with my pregnant wife at the time, years ago, and it was about how to tie your shoes. It was a TED Talk. I'm like, come on, I know how to tie my shoes. So okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? I have nothing else to watch with my pregnant wife. Let's watch it. Maybe I've been tying my shoes wrong all these years, right? I watched it as a joke. And in this video, he goes, most people are taught how to tie it like this. I'm like, that's exactly how I was taught to tie it. And he goes, that's the wrong way. And I'm like, okay, show me the right way. And he goes, you take the loop and you go the other way around and then you tie it. I'm like, you can do that? And my wife's like, yeah, that's how you do bows. I'm like, wait a second. There's another way to do that exact same knot. And it turns out there is. And I've been tying my shoes wrong my entire life. And once I learned how, I made it my business. I made up my mind that I was going to start tying my shoes correctly, which seems like such a simple thing, right? But it's the basis of how you actually go about instilling new habits, new ways of thinking, new actions in your life. If you want to change, this is how you do it. You sit down and you make up your mind to purposefully do something a certain way with the understanding that after 30 days of doing it, you will now be doing it that way. Okay. So many people think that if I just do this thing over and over and over and over again, I form a habit. It's not necessarily true. You have to do it with the understanding that if you do it enough times, it becomes a habit. So you have to have that purposeful desire to turn it into a habit. And so what's going to happen is you're going to sit there and say you want to change the way you tie your shoes. You're going to be like, I got to tie my shoes. And your hands are going to start doing their work. You're like, whoa, hands, stop. Like my hands actually did that. Like, stop hands. Okay. And I had to grab my laces again. And okay, go slow. Like pretend like I'm 4 years old again, learn how to tie my shoes. And it felt really weird at first because my hands were used to tying really fast the other way. I had to go like real slow. If you want to think differently, when your mind starts thinking lack, limitation, when it starts thinking negative, when you start thinking about blame or guilt, you're putting yourself down for something. You're thinking about that ex who hurt you. You're thinking about that friend who stole your money. You're thinking about your car that always breaks down. You're thinking about the reasons why everything in your life is wrong. Okay? Stop yourself and go, hold up, brain. I want to think a different way. You think that different way, and then you think that with the fact that if I can just keep this up, keep stopping myself and change the way I think, if I can do this for roughly 30 days, I will change the way I think. And that's how you go from thinking small to thinking big. People who do not understand that cannot make that leap. You can try to explain it to them, but if they are not mentally ready for that change, if they are just so closed off, there's nothing you can do to change them. That is why so many people who end up making this switch and then going and becoming successful lose so many friends. It's because their friends cannot conceive of how that friend changed. Like, you got a bigger house. What was wrong with the old one in our neighborhood? Why you got to move out? Like, you left us. It's all about them, right? They're victims. Victim mentality. If you think you got a victim mentality about anything in your life, you think small. There is no victimhood. You have the potential for greatness. All right, that's what I got for you today. Thinking big and thinking small. So I'm going to remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. If you want to develop a new habit, you have to be very clear on the new habit that you want to develop. Okay. You write it out. Use your hand. So many people, young people nowadays, don't know how to write with their hands. It's really funny, but you write it out with your hand. Okay. And you do that because it causes your muscles to hurt a little bit if you're not used to writing, and you're going to feel that. And it's going to make your brain cells fire. And it's going to reinforce that feeling inside of you. It's going to reinforce the belief in yourself that if I can just do this a certain amount of time, you're going to think about your hand hurting when you think about this now. And it's going to be good. Okay. But you have to do it with that understanding and that forethought and the planning. Habits, you can form any habit in yourself. Like there's a book, it's called The Power of Habit. I don't remember who wrote it. I apologize. It's one of my favorite books. They give all kinds of examples of how this actually works. Even you're talking about experiments with monkeys and grape juice, right? Monkeys will go absolutely insane if you give them grape juice every day if they do a certain task. And once they form that habit, if you don't give them that grape juice, they flip it. They just go insane and they'll break stuff because they're so upset they don't get their grape juice. You're a robot monkey. Your body is a robot monkey. It has the same processes. It runs the exact same way by habit. And so if you can organize your life a certain way, you can have whatever you want. And you'll even think differently. Like you will actually think different things. You just have to understand how to make it happen. So that's what I got for you all. Don't be just a gamer. Be a gamerpreneur.